Hi everyone, and welcome back to Midnight Theories. And if you're new here, welcome to Midnight Theories. Wow, we are 4 episodes in. I don't know how either of us made it this far, but I guess we have. When we last left off, our brave contestants were knee-deep in the seesaw test, with 4 groups battling tooth and nail to avoid elimination. In episode 3, we got a taste of the action with 3 out of the 4 performances, because, you know, Mnet loves to keep us hanging on the edge of our seats. Tonight's episode promises even more drama, nail-biting eliminations, and enough tears to fill an ocean. So grab your favorite snacks, settle in, and let's dive into the show. The last performance of the night is Ooh-Ah. The song is all about being cute and refreshing. That means these grounders will have to pull off their best aegyo attacks and hope it melts the cold hearts of the producers. The Ooh-Ah team is quite the mix. We've got Jiun, the leader and main vocal, Gyuri, the center, Yuna, the main dancer, and Chan, Eunchae, and Yuiko bringing their unique charms to the stage. During their interim check, things were looking pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. The overall performance was sloppy and a hot mess, but it was to be expected since these girls were only given a short time frame to practice. And let's add in that not everyone can master the choreography in lightning speed. The producers didn't hold back, giving some of the members tough critiques, but also some golden advice to help them shine on performance day. Honestly, my expectations were pretty low, but a part of me was rooting for them to pull off a surprise. As soon as the stage starts, Gyuri kicks things off with a bang. She has that charm that grabs you right from the start. Seriously, if Sunshine was a person, it would be Gyuri. She understood the assignment. She instantly makes you smile with her stage presence, and she looks like a human doll come to life, fitting this concept like a glove. Dance-wise, she's on fire. Consistent energy, perfect timing, and nail that dance break. Her vocals might need a little bit more polish, but with practice, she'll get there. The team couldn't have asked for a better center. And speaking of the dance break, we gotta talk about Yuna, the main dancer. Yuna was one of the better performers on this stage, which isn't saying a lot. She isn't one of the strongest dancers or singers, but she held down her part as best she could. It was disappointing that the dance break was cut out of the episode because it really downplayed her role significantly. Like I said, if you're not watching the full performances on YouTube, you're missing a good chunk of the stage. For Chan, she had the fewest lines, and her presence was nearly invisible. And when she finally had her moment, she ultimately fumbled it. Then there's Yuiko, Cheon, and Eunchae. Yuiko felt like a filler member. She's a decent dancer with good facial expressions, but it's hard for her to shine when the camera barely acknowledges her. As for Eunchae, she still needs to work on her facial expressions and stage presence. She could use a masterclass from Gyuri. And last but not least, Jiun, the main vocal. I was really hoping she'd blow us away, but her performance fell flat. Because before the stage started, she seemed really excited, but when it was her turn to sing, her voice was too light and quiet. She didn't seem confident or comfortable with this cutesy concept, and as the main vocalist, she needed to bring power and emotion, but her delivery was dull. And then, yikes, her facial expressions. Her facial expressions and presence felt really reserved, like she was holding back a lot. I really feel like Jiun's biggest enemy is herself. She's got a lot on her mind, and I worry that this competition might be taking a toll on her mental health. She said she tried her best, but it just didn't come through on stage or on screen. After the underwhelming performances, it was time to face the music and see the results. For this round, it had a twist. Each member's individual scores would be revealed publicly and compared to their partners from earlier. On the big screen, the scores between the islanders were displayed. After tallying up, Panorama emerged victorious with a score of 518, while Whistle scored a 490. This meant that the Whistle team was demoted to Ground, putting them at risk of elimination. Over at Ground, the energy was pretty tense. No one wanted to be on the losing side. Though we weren't shown the individual scores just yet, the Bad Boy team seemed to triumph with an impressive score of 459, while Ooh-Ah fell short with 435. I guess not even Gyuri's aegyo could save them this time. With the results in and the units rearranged, we quickly moved to the eliminations. The first half of the episode was moving at lightning speed compared to last week's slower pace. As mentioned before, the 2 contestants with the lowest scores in the producer's evaluation would be eliminated. We already knew Minseo had the lowest score in her team, but now it was time to see who had the lowest score in Ooh-Ah. Yuiko, Eunchae, and Minseo found themselves in the bottom 3. But ultimately, it was Yuiko with the score of 67 and Eunchae with the score of 65 who were sent packing. Next up is the highly anticipated unit battle. This time, Islanders and Grounders are going head-to-head. Each team will form 3 units: a vocal team, a dance team, and a creative team. Here's the breakdown. The vocal teams will have 2 members, the dance team will have 3, and the creative units will consist of either 7 from the Island team and 5 from Ground. The vocal and dance team units are pretty straightforward, but the creative team is where things get a little interesting. They need to choreograph their performance from scratch, making sure every move hits the beat, every formation dazzles, and the whole routine is clean and perfectly synchronized. Now the stakes are high. Every time Ground wins, 3 people from Island will be demoted to Ground, with a maximum of 9 people. And based on the test results, 2 members of Ground will be in danger of elimination. Once the rules were laid out, it was time to reveal the songs. Before the competition kicks off, 2 special directors were invited to oversee the interim checks: renowned Korean dancer Lip Jae and former 101 member turned soloist Kim Jae-hwan. And in good old Mnet fashion, to crank up the drama, each unit had to watch their counterparts' practice performance. And let me tell you, the heat was on. I feel like you could cook an egg in this room. I wish we could have seen the special guests watch the actual performances, but I guess that wasn't in the cards for this episode. Before diving into the stage reviews, I highly recommend checking out the full videos. Now let's jump into what you're all here for, the performance reviews. The first unit to take the stage is Island's vocal team, featuring contestants Junghoon and Fuko, performing Taeyeon's Fine. Fine is not an easy song to cover. It demands a deep well of emotions and the ability to hit those soaring high notes. Junghoon kicks off the stage with her stable, rich vocals, setting a solid foundation. Fuko follows with the lighter, more delicate touch, which beautifully complements Junghoon's textured voice. The voices blend seamlessly, perfectly capturing the song's mood. So as the performance progresses, the duo gradually build up to their explosive high notes, delivering stunning harmonies and powerful ad-libs that elevate the performance to new heights. Like, can we just take a second to appreciate the performance and how each girl perfectly nailed this performance? The simplicity of the acoustic guitar allowed their voices to shine, highlighting both the powerful belting and the softer, more delicate moments. Crown's vocal unit was the next to perform, consisting of contestants Jiyoon and Minseo performing Taeyeon's Eyes, Nose, Lips. Eyes, Nose, Lips is a song saturated with the brooding emotions of Taeyong, so to cover it, it requires capturing the same soulful vulnerability and raw emotions. When Taeyong sings it, you feel every intimate moment he's conveying. So, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous for this stage. Having to perform such an emotional and personal piece could be nerve-wracking, but on top of this, you have to perform it in front of the original artist, which just adds on to the pressure. Jiyoon opens up with delicate notes, which Minseo then elevates with a powerful drive. Seriously, I got goosebumps as soon as Jiyoon started singing. Her unique vocal tone was dreamy and flowing. She finally found that powerful voice I was asking for and gave a beautiful delivery. I'm so excited to see her next performance and hope Mnet will stop giving her a bad edit. But looking at the way things are edited in this episode and next episode, I don't think that will happen. But I'll elaborate more later. As for Minseo, I was so proud and surprised by what she delivered to the table. The show often limits contestants' opportunities to shine, usually giving most of the girls just 1 or 2 lines, which isn't enough to showcase their full potential. However, this week, Minseo finally stepped into the spotlight and made the most of it. Minseo showed off her beautiful falsettos and dynamics we haven't heard from her before. Her voice was clean and packed with emotion. The chemistry between these 2 girls was fantastic because their voices blend perfectly. Their harmonies gave me chills and I couldn't have asked for a better performance. After both stages were over, it was finally time to announce the winners. Both units gave outstanding performances, making it a tough call for the mentors. But by a 1-point difference, Crown's vocal team took home the win with a score of 92, while Island scored a 91. This result means that 3 people from Island must move down to Ground. So let me talk a little bit more about that drama. When the units were saying their goodbyes, something interesting happened, and Mnet made sure to highlight it. As Jun and Minso were walking off stage and exchanging goodbyes with the other team, we see Jun cheering on Fuko. However, she walked right past Jungkook without even acknowledging her existence. It was a pretty icy move. Mnet hasn't shown any backstory or explained this, but it makes you wonder what went down between these two, because in the later episode, we'll see even more awkward scenes between the two. So Mnet, if you're gonna show these moments without any explanation, why even show it in the first place? But what do you guys think? Is there a feud between the two main vocalists? Anyways, let's move on to the next stage. Moving on to the dance units, the first to perform is the Island team, composed of Juwon, Coco, and Ji-won, who performed a mix of My Bag by G-Idol and Eve, Psyche, and the Bluebeard's Wife by LE SSERAFIM. Coco sets the stage on fire from the get-go. She's a really good dancer and good at acting, pulling off a striking glare. Like this girl was serving face. Each member brings their A-game, boasting energetic and clean dance moves and a fun attitude. The more I watch Ji-won on stage, the more I see her blossom. While she can keep up with her teammates, she sometimes gets overshadowed by the two other members who carry bigger personalities. But if you focus solely on Ji-won, her infectious smile just lights up the stage. She's a skilled dancer and seems to genuinely enjoy herself on stage, especially during the second half of the performance. I hope she can really pull out some wow factor in the next stage so she can stand out, because I'm really not ready to see her go. As for Juwon, she's a solid performer. She's a good dancer. She knows how to capture the audience's attention, and her singing voice shines when the songs are within her range. However, during the dance practice, I noticed she tends to rely on her signature eyebrow raise, especially in the aggressive or more stylish songs. And right after, I was just thinking that Monica called her out on this, and it's a good thing she did. It allowed Juwon to explore a range of facial expressions that will undoubtedly benefit her in the long run. As Monica rightfully pointed out, dancing isn't just about the body, you're also dancing with your facial expressions. Moving on to Coco, she's been one of my favorites since I first saw her perform Baggy Jeans. She's always been someone to capture my attention with her dance skills, confidence, and refreshing stage presence. She nailed this stage, becoming the star of this performance. I'm always excited to see her perform, and this stage solidified why she's one of my picks. Overall, it looked like a pretty fun stage, so much so that I kinda wanted to join in. Unfortunately, in this episode, we didn't get to see all the stages, but despite that, the episode still delivered some really solid stages. It's really great to see so many of these girls improve since the first episode. I hope that they can maintain this momentum and continue to showcase why they were chosen for a program like this. Did any of these stages or members impress you this round? If so, feel free to let me know in the comments. Don't forget to join me next week as I delve into the 5th episode of Island Season 2. And as always, thank you for watching and enjoy your stay.